Camping edition. Isa Jaku? Yaku. Yaku's just like his daddy. He loves seeing himself. So, yeah, Yaku. So I soaked in the hot springs, which I'm at the Baker Hot Springs right now. Yaku. Yaku. And then I took a nap. It was super good. I really enjoyed it. And I decided, I was listening to a video, podcast, whatever, while I slept, well, when I woke up, on orgasmic birth, which, you know, I've already birthed and I'm not pregnant, so I'm not really interested in that topic right now, but I just happened to be what it was on. So, I decided that I would speak on birth and my experiences. Mom. So I've had 8 babies. Yaku was my last. Torturing my life right now. Yaku. So, when I was a little girl, I wanted to have a bunch of children. But the only option I had for birth, yep, Yaku, was the medical system. And that shit looked horrible. So I decided I was not going to have not even one baby. Well, obviously Yaku's not going to let me do this. Yaku, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué? ¿Qué pasó? Vaya a ver. Vaya a ver lo que ha pasado allá. Trying to trick him to leave me alone. Anyways, but then when I was 18 years old, my sister introduced me to Spiritual Midwifery, the book, and Home Birth, the thing, with a midwife. And so I was like, oh, birth is restored and saved. So I was really excited, and I wanted to immediately do it. Of course, that's how I roll. So I manifested a pregnancy, not through an ideal situation, but it doesn't matter. And I had my first home birth. So that birth, I was vegan, and the birth was not great. I was already super toothpick, so if you want to know about my opinion about veganism, watch my video on my vegan story when I post that. Which should go up before this one. Mom! I forget. Mommy! So, oh, ¿dónde está tu bici? Tu bicicleta, va a echarlo. Yeah. So, when I had that child, I went into labor. I lived at my sister's house. Mommy. And she had just had a baby the month before, and that traumatized the crap out of me watching that birth. And the reason why is because obviously, well, okay, it's not obvious. My sister was in a lot of pain, and she had taken castor oil to induce labor, which makes everything worse. Always don't do that. And then I look over, and there's my sister with a purple head between her legs, and I was just like, what the F? Like, this, it just freaked me out. So, I wasn't that impressed with that birth. It didn't, like, inspire me or anything. It freaked me out. she had her baby at home also with the same midwife that I had. So, fast forward to my birth, a month later, I called the midwife. I was having like contractions, like earlier that day. My baby was a week overdue, and then I kept feeling like I need to go to the bathroom every 3 minutes. So then I realized, oh, this must be what labor feels like. So I went and got, I think, my mom first. And then my mom got my sister. And they called the midwife. And I was just like breathing through the contractions. And they were definitely not easy. And my, the midwife arrived. And they do what they do. And it just was also surreal and awkward. And not magical. They had called my boyfriend and he eventually arrived in time. And I just kind of hated them all being there, watching me be in pain and all this stuff. So eventually, well, one thing the midwife did that gave me comfort and that I appreciated was she told me that I was a good girl. Sounds so dumb now. But she like comforted me and was like, basically like telling me I was doing a good job and that I was a good girl. I don't know. It seems kind of condescending now, but at the time it gave me comfort and ease. And so, for whatever reason, I was just working through the contractions and I was not using my brain, and so I had to pee really bad. And then by the time I tried to go pee, I couldn't pee. So I'm like laboring through a full bladder. And I decided to get in the tub, but the tub water was freezing and never warm enough. Like, the whole thing was just a freaking nightmare. And then the midwife checked me and decided that I was at a 10 and that it was time for me to push out my baby. And I guess she had checked the baby something or other and decided that he needed to come out like stat. Anyways, I was pushed. She coached me to push, which now I understand. You never do. Don't do that. But at the time I didn't know, because, in spiritual midwifery, it's all about coaching. They're basically taking what doctors do and doing it at home, which is really stupid. So, I didn't feel like pushing. It wasn't time to push. I didn't feel like pushing, but they were telling me to push, and I was so freaking exhausted. And then the midwife decided that, the baby must be too big. So she had like my boyfriend behind me, holding me up under my arms. And I guess I don't know, maybe my sister on one side or my brother-in-law seems like was involved. It was such a nightmare. And then a midwife. Anyways, I had people holding either of my legs. I was up in midair. My boyfriend was holding me from behind, I believe. And I was being coached to push then as well. I never felt like pushing. I was told to push and push and push. Anyways, through sheer like heroic will and power, I pushed out this 9-pound baby and my baby boy. And I was so relieved he was out, but I had torn all the way to my anus. In addition, my placenta wouldn't come out, so they had me lay down. And this student midwife that was just like horrifying. I didn't like her.
Mom!
Just a minute. Of course, my child wants me to get him juice right now. Way too much juice, Shaku. So she put her arm all the way up to her fist into my vagina and was yanking through my ripped vagina and was yanking. Crap, it's so hard. Am I even gonna be able to do this? Got some pretty mad skills, I tell ya. Ooh, chinga. Okay, I spilled a little, but really it should have been way worse. I killed it. That means I did good. I'm like the tiredest lady. If you guys even knew the amount of shit that I've been through in the last 2 years, your heads would explode. You can kind of see some of what I've been through in my videos because I talked about it in my narcissistic healing videos, but not even close to like true depiction of the reality of the nightmare, right? So whatever, it was what it was. But next life, make better decisions, right? But yeah, that was horribly painful, and they got the placenta out in pieces, and I guess they just had to do that because I was hemorrhaging, and the placenta, like the cord, according to what they told me, I never even saw the situation. It could be all BS. Not they would lie to me, but anyways, whatever. Apparently the placenta was deformed. The cord had grown out of the side rather than the middle, and it was attached to my uterus on that part, and it wouldn't release. I believe it would have released just fine if it had just chilled out and not made me push my baby out before my baby was ready to come out, for one. Anyways, when you're force pushing, you're going to cause hemorrhage and problems. So that's really irresponsible and stupid, but this is what the majority of all of them do. And the home birth midwives, of course, have to do what they're told or they're going to lose their license. And if a baby dies in a home birth with the midwife goes to jail. But of course, if doctors kill people if a baby dies under a doctor's whatever care, birth, hospital thingy, then, cool. They can kill people. That's fine. The whole thing's a fucking joke. But anyways, then after the whole arm up my vagina, yanking, pulling, ripping, etc. thing, they sewed me up with no anesthetic. Like, I've literally been through hell just with that one birth. And then, do I want to include that part of my story? No, I'm not going to. That baby was born. I lived. I went through all that, and I had to pee the whole time. And by the time my baby was out and I could finally pee, I couldn't sit up or anything because my whole entire guts and bottom had been torn to shreds. So what I did, great Yaku, now there's a hole in our thing. Don't have kids that ruin all your things. I couldn't pee in like a bedpan or anything. Like, my entire bottom was torn to shreds. And, with a healthy, normal birth, not one that I had, your bottom's going to be sore and things are going to be uncomfortable. But I was like beyond way 10,000 times more than that uncomfortable. So I was like, okay, facts reality. I was like, I can't like sit up. Okay. And what I did was we put like plastic and then towel under me, and I was able to finally relax enough to release my friggin' pee. So that's TMI, but that was a part of the birth. Don't hold your pee. Go pee. I know it's really awkward when people are watching you and like up your butthole, but I'm gonna post 8 birth stories, 8 different videos, and at the end of them, you're going to see why you don't need to hire a midwife or anyone to fuck with you, to look at you, stare at you, to freaking be stalking you throughout your entire birth, etc. And if you want to, because you're so afraid, you want to hire people to torture you, go for it. But what I found is it's completely absurd, and oh my god, if I only knew throughout every single one of my births what I know now, I would have never hired anyone, period, ever. So that was the story of my first home birth. I birthed him in June of 1996. I was like 19 years old at the time, 19 and a half. And it was pretty traumatizing, I tell ya, and horrible. And I should have stuck with the don't have babies thing. But I lived, and then I decided 5 years later to have another baby. So I'll tell about that birth story in my next video. Peace out. Mwah.